Hello, everyone. You are listening to Meela from the future. Ooh. Unfortunately, I don't have the winning lotto numbers, but I am here to say that you will be hearing some audio delay in this episode and in the next episode. You may hear some audio overlap, me interrupting Lola. I promise I don't do that in real life, and some extra long pauses. Regardless, we are still going to post these episodes, and we hope that you can enjoy them too. And just as a reminder, our podcast is uploaded every other Tuesday, so we hope to see you there.
Great, welcome back everyone. You're now listening to Domception. If you are a returning guest, I will personally give you a kiss. We are hosted today by your favorite Femdom duo, Meela and Lola.
We're so excited to have you guys back here with us. We're happy that you guys are enjoying so far our podcast.
Yeah. We've got some positive feedback. We only have gotten our podcast up on YouTube right now. This episode is going to be up on Anchor. It may be the first episode that's on Anchor and Spotify and other places. We're still working on getting the first episode converted so that it can go on the other platforms.
Yeah, so please bear with us. We're still, like Meela said, we're still trying to get used to all this.
Yeah, we are. It's been a lot of tech difficulties that we weren't expecting, but we're working through them. So if you guys are listening to this on Spotify or other podcast listening apps, our first episode, as of right now, is definitely on YouTube at Domception.
Yes, please follow us, give us a like, subscribe, and leave us a comment.
Yeah, we always ask questions to our fans. Nobody has answered them yet. But if you want to give us some comments or questions, we would love to read them and respond to them.
Yeah, I actually love answering questions so people can know like what we think about certain topics or anything like that.
Yeah, and speaking of questions, on my Twitter, Lola retweets it too. I post my Curious Cat, and you can ask an anonymous question, or you can send a comment on that and ask a question that's not anonymous, and we'll be answering those on the podcast as well.
Exactly.
So, do you have any Valentine's Day plans? Because as of right now, we're recording this the day before Valentine's Day. We don't know when it's going to be up, so we're probably a little behind.
Unfortunately, no. As every year, I'm always single, and of course, it's even worse in the pandemic right now. So I will be at home, chilling by myself.
That's a mood. I also, as much as I date, because I date pretty often, I feel like I never have a Valentine's date.
You know, you can be my Valentine's if you want.
Oh, you guys hear that? I'm Lola's Valentine.
Always.
I actually did do a Valentine's Day video called Giveaway, and I do giveaways all the time on my Twitter at Mama Meela. So I will be doing that either tonight or in a couple of days. So somebody did win the giveaway, so I will have kind of like a Valentine's Day plan.
Oh, I'm sure they're going to be so excited to talk to the most wonderful person ever.
Get out of here. I'm excited too, but I'm nervous. I'm actually nervous. Why am I nervous?
It's like your very first date ever.
I know, my very first Valentine's date. It might be my very first. I can't remember. Maybe my second.
Well, I can't wait to hear about it.
Oh, you guys will hear about it either. I'll text it to Lola, or maybe it'll be on the podcast how it went. So today's topic is going to be fetish mining and fetish baiting, and I feel like this is a pretty important topic. It's not talked about a lot. Recently, it has been brought to light, and people are talking about it, so we would like to kind of raise awareness and kind of spread the message today.
Yeah, so what is fetish mining?
So fetish mining is the act of soliciting material to gratify oneself from an unsuspecting party. So basically, people will try to get an unknowing person to play along with their fetishes or kinks without having the person's consent or awareness. They really enjoy the act of kind of like, you don't know what I'm doing, and I am doing something gross to you in my mind, and they're getting off to that idea.
Yeah, I feel like a good example would be like the whole daddy, dom, and little girl type thing.
Oh, yeah. Keep going. Elaborate.
Well, you know, when the guys who are all tough and they see this small innocent girl and they want her to be wearing short skirts and just like, little girly girl outfits and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. A lot of times too with fetish baiting and fetish mining is that somebody kind of they have a fetish and then they see somebody who can portray that fetish. So with like let's say a daddy dom and like a little, oh, it hurts to say, a little girl, they kind of try to make that person do like cutesy type stuff without them knowing that they're trying to make them do that.
I feel like it's also worse with that whole genre right there is when they see a girl who has daddy issues. And so they try to like make them act like, of course, their daughter, the little girl.
It's definitely preying. Like anything that's like where somebody's preying on you in a sexual manner and you don't know that they're preying on you, but they're like secretly getting off to it. They're trying to bait you. They're trying to mine content out of you. They're trying to get you to participate in their fetish without letting you know what's going on.
Yeah, that's what's really sad that again, you or whoever isn't aware of the
Mm-hmm.
situation that's going on.
Yeah, it's naive people, like, which is fine, everybody gets naive at one point in time, but you kind of go into a situation or a scenario and you don't expect to be preyed upon. Like um just going to work. People will do it at your job.
Oh yes, exactly. Especially when it's again like your job. I'm drawing a blank here again.
Yeah, when you're at your job, like you are, firstly, you're kind of forced to cater to the public. So when you get weird requests at your job, you kind of take them with a grain of salt because you're like, this is my job. I'm supposed to be a friendly customer service person or whatever your job title is. And people who are perverse and gross will definitely take advantage of you in that situation where you can't say, no, you're being weird, because you really don't have anything to go off of to say, like, this guy's being weird. And we'll get into
Especially
some examples later, but sorry, go on.
there, it's like especially like with the whole like workplace because again, it's like, as they say, the customer is always right.
Definitely. And I have so many examples that, and like story times I'll tell in this podcast too, in this episode, of me being a customer service employee and trying to be nice and friendly while somebody is actively creeping on me.
Oh Lord, that just sounds so wrong.
I know, I have so many stories for this episode. It's horrible. Um,
so
Go ahead.
so so where does all this fetish mining happen again?
So not only in public can it happen, but it can also happen on resale sites. And you know the name of it. I can't remember the name of it.
Depop.
Yeah, that site has a lot of people preying on sellers, and they're trying to get them to entice and interact with their fetishes and their kinks. It also happens online social media. It happens on dating apps and through texting. Um, and also, too, not only in public workers, but at home workers, people who work on the phone lines or um, people who are customer service agents.
And especially on the social media, like I've seen it when I'm like on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I like to watch TikToks. Um, like when I'm gonna have to use this as an example, but when I have seen like an Asian person pop up,
Mm-hmm.
there's all these people, mostly the K-pop fans,
Mm-hmm.
trying to compare them. Oh, you look like Jungkook or whoever.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And it's it's so strange because yeah, I definitely agree that, if you're posting, stuff like online, you're going to be subjected to unfavorable comments and people who are trying to fetishize you and play into their kinks. And it's honestly horrible and really disgusting.
Yeah, like all races are beautiful no matter what.
True.
You shouldn't be thinking that I want to only date this kind of race or this kind of person only.
Yeah, very true. And that is going to be, we're going to talk about that one of these days on another episode. And we're going to have a special guest, hopefully. And we're going to talk about the how honestly toxic it is to prey upon people who are a different race and only that race.
It's very sick and twisted thinking about that.
Agreed. So We're going to give you guys some examples of fetish mining, and I'm going to have Lola, unfortunately, play the creeper role in this part.
Ooh, I get to show my creepy side.
So, sometimes you'll get strange questions, such as,
What's your shoe size?
I.
Oh, no way. Can I see that? I don't believe you.
So, poor Lola. So this is an example of somebody who's trying to bait you into sending pictures or talking about your feet. And this is actually a pretty common one. Unfortunately, I don't, this is going to have to be another topic, but I don't understand why people with foot kinks feel so bad about having foot kinks that they have to go and prey upon people who are innocent. There's somebody who will let you kiss their feet. Trust me, I'm one of them. But so Lola the creeper in this example, she's trying to get me to talk more about my shoe size or talk more about my feet or get me to send photos to her because Lola in this example has a foot fetish.
Yeah, baby, let me see them toes.
And oh, another part of this too is that they will often kind of try to egg you on a little bit, like, oh, I bet you I don't believe you, or I bet you won't do it, or something like that, because they're trying to get you to definitely secure that like interaction.
Yeah, and you know what I also want to bring up
Mhm.
that I've seen when I'm watching like videos on YouTube of like people vlogging, there's like a few people who are
Mm.
like, "Oh, don't show my feet. You're gonna get all those feet fetish people trying to want to look at them for free."
Oh yeah, true that. A lot of streamers are also subjected to that too. Like, can you show us your outfit? Can you stand all the way back and, and out of the camera so that we can see your whole body? We want to see your outfit. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I'm like, they're just trying to freaking go on about their day or show their video
Mhm.
game, whatever they're doing.
Mhm.
Don't turn it into something
That's
sexual.
right. And another example is help with something. A fetish baiter may ask you for your help with something such as,
I need an anatomy study. Do you mind helping me? If you take some photos bent over, it'll help me learn how to draw that position using you as a reference.
excellent work. So, in this example, Lola is pretending that she needs help with something. And this has actually happened to me. I'll get a little bit of a story time after I explain the example. But a lot of times, fetish baiters and fetish miners will try to get you to offer your help or try to get your help with something that they're working on, or like by sending them, again, photos or talking them through something that's kind of sexual. Like they might need to hear an experience in your life, like maybe like a sexual experience because they're doing research on a topic or something. And that's, you're giving them, they're trying to get like information from you of something very intimate and personal. And they're trying to get you, to just be provocative without you knowing that you're being provocative, which is horrible. And my example for this one, or my story time, is two actually. I had met somebody on the internet and they told me literally almost this exact question, is that they needed an anatomy study. And if they didn't mind that I could pose for them, and they wanted me to, pose in a couple of various provocative poses. And of course, me being dumb and naive, I did it. And I sent them the photos, and then they told me that they were going to draw me, and they never drew me. So people,
That
yeah.
is just sick.
And that they're, and you know what, you want to know the funny thing is that me and this person, like a year later, we matched again on the same dating site, and they go, hey, I need some references for drawing. Could you help me? And I'm like, do you not remember me? Do you not remember that you fetish baited me like literally a year ago? And I brought that up, and they I think they blocked me, and I'm like, see, gotcha.
Oh my gosh. Like I don't understand that. Like, are you serious? Like, can you not look at freaking damn naked pictures online or something?
I know, seriously. Go to my Twitter at Mama Meela. I have naked pictures in there. But yeah, it's so horrible. And then another one too is that I had somebody who needed a photography study. How do I find these creeps? Good question. But they actually wanted feet pictures. And of course, me being dumb, I sent the feet photos to them. And yeah, I never got to see those studies after that. So I knew what happened. Oh,
Oh man, poor
I know,
Mila.
right? I'm struggling over here. So another example, this one's going to be a public example. And so a public example of fetish mining, we kind of addressed this a little bit earlier, is when a customer wants you to touch something in specific, or they want you to touch something that they have also touched. Have you ever had anything creepy to you happen in public before?
Hmm. Honestly, no, because I'm gonna be honest. I haven't met anybody who found me attractive in person,
Excuse
so
me, I'm sitting right here.
I'm sorry.
I actually do have a story about this one. So here I go again. Um, so I used to work at a sporting goods store, and we used to have a guy that came into the store, and I didn't know it. I didn't know it at the time. My other employees had known what was going on, but I didn't know because I was a new employee. But this person would come into the store, and they would grab things, and they would ask you to put them back for them, and you would like put your hand out to take the item, and they would have to make sure that they touched your hand and while they were giving you the item back, or they would just ask you, can you grab this for me, and then they would touch it, and then they would give it back to you and you would touch it. So the reason why this person was doing this is because they would masturbate before coming into the store, so their hands were covered in dried cum.
Oh my
Yeah, and
God.
they got off to the fact that you were touching something that was covered, or that was touched by their cum covered hands at one point. And they got off to that idea that you were kind of indirectly touching their dirty cum hands.
That is the most disgusting thing I've ever
I know,
heard.
and I didn't know what was going on because, not gonna lie, I thought that maybe he was like, I don't know, somebody who maybe had like OCD or something like that, where because like I have OCD, so I can kind of relate to like somebody who needs somebody to grab something for them. Or like they need to have like something touched a certain way, so I could relate to that. But then my coworkers had told me, yeah, he is a repeat offender. He has been banned from our other locations, so now he comes here and he masturbates and tries to come on his hands, and then he touches stuff in the store and tries to get the women here to touch stuff.
Did he ever get banned from your store after that?
I wasn't there for very long. I had quit probably honestly like a month into working there. So I don't know whatever happened to him. But why we never called the police on him? Good question. I wish I would have known.
God, that is just
I know, it
disgusting.
was honestly so gross. Um, but another example too is in public, if you go on a dinner date with somebody that you're not really sure about, like it's your guys' first date, and they dare you to do something, like they dare you to burp in their face. And as gross as that is, it is something that is fetish mined and fetish baited out of people.
I personally have never heard of that before.
So, not to have another story time, but I have like I have known people who have had this kink before, and they enjoy watching people eat and watching you eat so much that you want to throw up almost. And they like to see like you burping at them, or they like to smell it or something of that nature. And I'm not kink shaming you guys, but it definitely seems like people who have kind of maybe an out of the box kink tend to bait and mine the fetish out of people, because it is really hard to find somebody who is into the same fetish as you. But I'm just going to tell y'all now, if you find somebody that you're into, if you are a fetish baiter who's listening to this, if you just find somebody you're into and you guys have an open communication and a good trust and a bond, most likely they will make the compromise to, consensually play in with your kinks.
Yeah, all you have to do is just talk
Hmm.
about it, trust them, they trust you, and then who knows? It could possibly like work
And
out.
like for me personally, if somebody's gonna find my burp sexy, well, get the fuck over here. I'll fucking burp at you. Like,
You hear that? You hear that, everybody? Mia likes your burps.
let's exchange burps, you guys.
Another thing that actually
Mhm,
reminds me of like public fetish
mhm.
mining is like I've seen it in movies is where like the waitress is working and like there's a guy at the table and he'll like push over like a utensil or something on the floor and watch the waitress pick it
That's a
up.
really good one, and I feel like that's actually like one of the basis of the fetish mining problem is we've all seen it in like TV shows and movies is that if you want to see a sexy person bend over or a person that you're attracted to, you drop something and you're getting that gratification from seeing their behind or seeing their cleavage or making them just bend over for you.
Exactly. It's like it's the easiest way to like see what they want to see or just picture and like what gets me
Mhm.
though is seeing people, it's mainly
Mhm.
men grabbing women's butts without even like their consent
Yeah,
obviously.
definitely. No, the non-consent thing is such a huge issue with fetish mining and fetish baiting is because like whenever you're like again if you're at work, I've seen it happen a lot of times where the employee they can't say anything because they aren't providing superior customer service and they have to be allowed to be harassed by somebody.
Which is really sad. Like the job is not going to do anything.
Hmm.
They're just being a boy or boys or bully boys or stuff like
Agreed,
that.
definitely. It's oh, boys will be boys. That one drives me nuts.
Yeah, there's another thing also. I guess I kind of seen at like my jobs is like when you hand the customer like the receipt or change and like they like grab your finger or
Oh,
hand.
yeah. Okay, yeah, that's another one. Like some people are so touch deprived that they have to touch you. Or one thing as the opposite of that is that they want to see like I'm not sure if you've ever had this happen to you before at working customer service or anything, but I've had it happen to me is that when you give somebody the money, you're about to give them the money and they pull their hand away so you drop the money all over the place and they want to see you pick it up. Not as in like pick it up to see your ass or like your cleavage or something, but they want to see you pick it up because haha, I'm making a lowly customer service representative pick up my stuff because I'm superior. And I would say that that's part of fetish baiting and fetish mining because you're getting off to somebody almost kind of submitting to you.
Basically like
Yeah,
humiliation is what you're
exactly like that.
saying.
It's humiliating tasks. People love to see that for some reason.
And like I personally I actually really hate being
Hmm.
touched. So like I would try my best to like pull back really quick from like handing the customer their item or
Agreed,
something.
same. I go to a drive-through often, and the guy at the drive-through, I would say we're kind of friendly, but he likes to reach into my car and touch my hair.
Oh my! I remember you telling me that, but he
He
still
hasn't
does
done it
that.
recently, but I had to cut all my hair off, so there's nothing for him to grab. But he did. He's never done it before, but he had actually reached into my car like not too long ago and actually touched my hair because I had colored it, and I was like, I texted Lola. I was like, this dude just touched my hair.
Why didn't you
Well,
smack
I'm in a
him?
drive-through, so like he's like up higher than I am, and I'm like down in the car. But like if I had really long arms, I probably would have grabbed him by the neck and strangled him a little bit.
Well, I mean, I would have still at least like grabbed his hand or smacked his hand when it was near. Yeah, I've had one time at my
Hmm.
job like at this place I used to work at, we used to also sell
Hmm.
furniture. And what cracked me up is like one time, it's nothing like wrong or I wasn't mad
Hmm.
about it or anything. I was helping this customer like lift a box of furniture into
Hmm.
her car, and she by accident grazed her arm or hand across my boob. She's like, "Oh my god, I didn't mean to touch her boobs." I'm like, "It's okay." I was like, "As long as it's not a man, but even then, you don't want to be touched and stuff
True.
like that."
And also I love when people kind of acknowledge that, like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to, inappropriately grope you.
Yeah, sometimes like if I'm walking out with my friends, like my friend, she has a big butt.
Oh,
So what? Sometimes when we walk next to each other, I've accidentally like brushed my hand against her butt. I'm like, I'm so
my roommate
sorry.
flashed me the other day, and we just didn't say anything about it. We're just gonna pretend like it didn't happen. So, to kind of recap, you kind of may get like a strange feeling from the questions that the person is asking. You have like everybody kind of has like a gut instinct, and you can kind of tell like in your gut that something is wrong. And I can't remember if I mentioned this before in the other podcasts. We have probably retake. We have probably like redid each episode at least 3 times. But in one of the episodes I had mentioned, I'm not sure if I did mention, like if it was broadcasted, but I did mention that in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, in the movie, there's a quote. And the quote is like, you put your feelings of guilt above your own gut instinct because you don't want to offend somebody if you are worried that you might be wrong about them.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense on that statement.
So like, I've had that happen to me before too. Like I'm like, is this person being weird, or am I just overthinking it? And a lot of the times I should have trusted my gut instinct and should have been like, hey, you're being a freaking weirdo.
Yeah, that's what everyone says is to like listen to your gut. Your gut
That's
will
right,
never be
because
wrong.
we kind of have like an intuition as like a human to kind of pick up vibes from people that they might be off. So if you get a strange feeling, or if you think that somebody's questions are strange and they're trying to ask you weird stuff, or they're trying to get you to perform some sort of action, that is one of the cues that you may be getting fetish baited or fetish mined.
And also, don't be afraid to speak up. Like if it's making you uncomfortable, let them know so they can stop. And if they don't stop, then you have to figure out what to do
Yeah, and
next.
there's nothing wrong with that. Like I know a lot of people are uncomfortable speaking up with whenever they're uncomfortable, but there's nothing wrong with it. If somebody's making you physically uncomfortable, you feel uncomfortable, you feel sick, or just are weirded out by that person, there is nothing wrong with saying, whatever you're doing right now, bro, is making me feel weird.
Yeah, and of course, ask for
Yeah,
help
definitely.
too.
Anytime I ever go on a date or something like that, I have my friends on speed dial. Like if I need help to get out of there, I'm calling somebody. So that's going to be in another episode, dating safety. But somebody will help you if you literally feel that you could, if you did speak out or told this person that you're uncomfortable, that you may have other like something worse could happen after that.
Yeah, but it's also okay to ignore the person or again remove yourself from the situation if you're again uncomfortable. Like don't stay in that situation just because you
Yeah,
feel
just
like you
because
have
you feel
to.
guilty that you might upset them, they're currently upsetting you. So remove yourself if you can. Um, Another thing
Yeah.
too is that sometimes they'll be persistent. They will keep asking the question over again, or they'll rephrase it. Or if you've already performed one of the fetish mining or baiting actions that they have asked you to do and you didn't know it, they will ask you to do more of it. And you're probably thinking to yourself, well, I already sent you something once, that should be enough. Like with the anatomy study example, or with crap, I already forgot the examples. Oh, yeah, the shoe
The
size
shoe
one.
size,
If you've already, told them, like, hey, my shoe size is a 6, and they keep asking you, like, well, what kind of shoes do you wear? Like, what's your favorite kind? Do your feet ever get sweaty whenever you wear slippers? You know, you don't have to play into that anymore. You can just say, like, we're going to move on to the next topic, or just block that person in general.
Yeah, it does not hurt to block somebody. Do it. I do
Lola
it a
blocks
lot.
at least 30 people a day. Also, too, they probably won't drop the subject. You may be talking to somebody over maybe 5 or 6 hours, and they brought it up in hour 1. They're bringing it up again in hour 3, and they're bringing it up again at hour 5. They're not going to drop that subject. They are so desperately horny to get any reaction from you that they're going to keep asking and asking and asking.
I feel like after you see them like double message you or triple message you, that you should take that as a sign that something's
definitely.
not right.
If somebody is so early into a talking phase with somebody and they are just so persistent at you, it's firstly, if anybody's listening and needs dating advice, it's not attractive. Don't do that, please. And it's a huge red
Please.
flag because if you're so impatient to get a response back from someone, that's a red flag for me because with somebody who's so impatient in just texting and calling and talking in general, they tend to be impatient with other things and kind of tend to have a short temper. Now, not everybody's like that, but it kind of goes hand in hand.
Especially when they don't realize we all have a life, we're busy doing something, but they just take it as like they're being ignored, or they're not getting the
That's
attention
another
they
thing
want.
too, is that whenever somebody isn't respecting that you're busy or respecting that you're doing other things, and they are just, they just keep like hammering that concept or that talking point, and they just keep trying to push it and push it and push it. They're not respecting your personal space and your time and your busyness because they are so adamant on getting this information out of you. So that's another red flag to look out for.
And like trigger warning, that's almost like a sign of
Definitely,
abuse, you know?
definitely, because I mean, all of fetish mining and fetish baiting, it isn't taken so seriously, but it really is a type of abuse because they are getting something from you without your permission, without your consent, without you knowing, and they're going to go and self-gratify with that information that you've provided them unknowingly.
Yeah, because they don't realize that it's affecting you emotionally and
Exactly.
mentally,
hmm
or even physically.
And if the request seems to have no grounds and is typically like out of character question, proceed with caution. So if you guys are talking about the weather and they go again with the foot kink, I'm sorry, you guys, I love foot kink, okay, but I'm sorry, I keep making this one the example. Um, but if you guys are talking about the weather and they go, um, so, would you ever like run out in the snow barefoot or something like that? Like something that's totally out of character. Like, why would you ask that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Or, um, ooh, would you walk out in the muddy
Right.
rain
Yeah. They're
out
trying
there?
to see what you would do with your feet. And it's just like, it wasn't really related to the beginning question, the beginning topic. So if you see something like that happen, proceed with caution.
You know what also is
Hmm.
another a good example is when you're talking about a certain subject and they all of a sudden flip it to like another like a
Yeah, that's
sexual thing.
honestly so gross to begin with. Like, if you do that, I hate you. Like, a lot of people I've seen happen, it had it happen before where they're just talking about something normal, and then you get the people who are like, "Well, what if I was there with you?" Like, shut up.
Yeah, I've seen a few examples of that from
I
you,
know.
unfortunately.
Oh God, it's so bad. Like, I just want to punch those people in the face.
Yeah, because then again, that reminds me of like, again, like say
hmm
you're talking about you were walking your dog and then they're like, "Ooh, how was your dog's
Oh
butt?"
yeah.
or
Again
something.
with the weird, not weird. I shouldn't say. I mean, yeah, that is weird. But I'm trying not to kink shame you guys. But like with the taboo fetishes or fetishes that are illegal, they will try to get you to talk about fetishes that are illegal, and it's just like so weird.
Yeah, not everything has to be sexual. Like, I get it if like you two met off like NSFW Twitter and stuff, but like there's other things to talk about. Talk about the weather, talk about what favorite hobbies you're into, or what do you like to do in your
Yeah,
spare time,
exactly.
stuff
And
like
don't
that.
make it weird. Because if you are talking about your hobbies and stuff, don't ask them sexually loaded questions because that is really rude. Um,
Exactly.
let's see, what else? We've already kind of talked about it's totally okay for you to remove yourself and to ignore the person. Um, and again, just to reiterate, fetish baiters will get off on the fact that you are an innocent, non consenting party.
Yeah, and some actually will also get off seeing you be
Oh yeah,
uncomfortable or angry
exactly. Oh,
about it.
that's another thing. Another example of fetish baiting. So a lot of people are sent dick photos online, and a common theme is whenever you get a dick photo, you post it because firstly, fuck you. I'm going to post your shit. And so everybody can make fun of you. But some people are into that. They are trying to get you to publicly make fun of them because they have a public humiliation kink. So they've just fetish baited you. And I've had that happen to me before on Not Safe for Work Twitter at Mama Meela. And I've had that happen where, somebody sent me a dick pic and they were calling me nasty names and trying to, get a response out of me. And I posted it and I went to go investigate further. And it turns out that they are into this kind of stuff. They get off to the public saying that they have a weird dick or something like that,
Yeah, and again, it doesn't just go with just men. It also go with girls and stuff. Like they all will send unsolicited
Yep.
news, and then again they get off with
Yep,
being
definitely.
made fun of.
They want the humiliation or something. Sometimes they want the humiliation and they are trying to get a an aggressive response out of you or something, that's over the top. So that way that's fueling them.
Yeah, because it was basically their whole agenda to do
Exactly.
that.
So, we're going to get into some questions now because I think we did a pretty good job covering
Yay.
this topic. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we had a lot of good, pretty common major
Yeah,
examples,
definitely.
honestly.
And again, if you need help trying to figure out if you're being fetish mined or fetish baited, you can send me a DM. I will try to respond. And Lola's probably going to smack me upside the head.
I'm already here.
I just
you.
wish if I want to help. And now, if you're going to take advantage of my help, you are baiting me, and Lola will beat you up.
And I'll be over here telling Meela, I told you so, because you never listen.
I know she
to
always
me.
tells me. She is. I'm not sure if anybody watches Trailer Park Boys, but not to say I fucking or a toda-so, but a toda-so. I mean, I just messed that all up. But if you guys watch Trailer Park Boys, who is that? Is that Ricky? He says that? I don't know. It's funny. Anyways. So our first question this is I feel like a cool question to answer, but thoughts on ever meeting somebody from Twitter?
Meela already knows.
Oh yeah, I know.
I personally do not or wouldn't really want to meet someone off of Twitter. I mean, yes, I've met Meela off of Twitter, but we met off a topic that isn't sexual related. Because I personally feel I'm meeting this person off NSFW Twitter, so that means they're probably just going to be only into sexual stuff. Not saying everybody's going to be like that, because not everyone's the same. Yeah, and like I just don't feel too great about that situation. It's just basically for me, it's
I would meet people off of Twitter if it wasn't Not Safe for Work Twitter, because it's a whole different world. It's a whole different realm. We all, as content creators on Twitter, know that if given the chance to, if we met everybody who asked us to meet them, it's because they are horny. So on Not Safe for Work Twitter, I don't think I would meet anybody off of there. I'm a completely different person on my Not Safe for Work Twitter than I am in real life. So people who are on here, they only see the horny part of me. They don't see the rest of me,
Yeah, on mine. Okay, in real life, I'm gonna come out. I'm a bitch, like, and I walk around like I hate the world, and like. Just like my voice is monotone. Like, when I do my voice content, like it doesn't sound like I am, but like here it sounds like, and like I don't care what anybody has to say, but that's just how I talk. And I'm not good at talking, as you can tell, which is why Meela does all the talking. But I'm not great at conversation, which is another reason why I don't really interact with people as much.
Especially like Not Safe for Work Twitter, most of the interactions are going to be horny ones. And there gets a point in time when you're just like, I'm done being horny.
And people, and there's always those people who will be like, you got yourself into this situation. You signed up for this. This is, you should expect all these horny tweets and all this. I'm like, do I give a shit?
Fuck
I don't.
you for having a horrible opinion. Having a wrong opinion.
Exactly.
So our next question is, what made you realize you were a dom? Sure, I'll go
Would you like to
first.
go first?
So I'm mostly a dom. I would say I'm probably 90% dom, 10% submissive. Ugh, it hurts to say that. Um, I've realized in my life that I didn't really enjoy being, I guess, the submissive party in a sexual relationship. And a lot of times, too, is that in BDSM, a majority, I'm going to say it now, a majority are not trained in boundaries, in consent, in asking you if this is okay if I do this. A lot of people aren't doing that. If you are taking on the role of I'm a dom, you have to make sure that you're doing that. You have to make sure somebody's comfortable and stuff. And a lot of the times they aren't doing that. And a lot of my experiences as a submissive have been people who aren't making sure that I'm doing well as a submissive. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
I feel like, I have more fun as a dom, and also I feel like I feel good enough in myself and in my in my powers that I can provide a good comfort or a good quality of comfort and a good quality of care.
And honestly, Mila's amazing at being a
Thank
dom.
you.
Just saying. I would love to be domed by
I'm
you
coming over.
anytime, Mama Mila. Whereas me, I'm
Yes.
actually a switch. People might not think I am because most of the time I mostly tweet about, let me pound you or something. I guess I've never really tapped into any sexual stuff, obviously. If you read my pin tweet, then you would know. I'm not going to say it, but you should read my pin tweet. um, I've only noticed that I was a dom once I started seeing, honestly, seeing
Oh,
Mama Mila on
yay.
Twitter when she first started. Because I was never introduced to the whole, sexual BDSM world because I only would see what I saw
And
in porn,
that's another thing too, is that porn is completely different BDSM wise as it is in real life, I would say.
Oh, yes, it is. Oh my gosh. But I for sure I'm into basically the mistress side of it, where I mean I've been called a sadist because I enjoy
Mhm.
seeing people in pain, honestly. Because it is fun to
You heard it
watch.
here, folks.
But also, I guess I would say personally I would
Mhm.
don't mind being a sub to an extent. I'm not into throw me around or
Mhm.
punch me.
It
I'm
seems
not into
like
that.
you like the aspects of the dom side, but you don't want to have that received to you as a sub almost, because like you like to inflict pain, but you don't like to receive the pain, you know?
Yeah, yeah, basically that's exactly right because I mean, I wouldn't mind, a little throat grab as they say. But I honestly have very very low pain tolerance to be honest, so that's why I couldn't handle
Mhm.
all that
I would say
crazy
almost
stuff.
kind of the same for me. I feel like my doming style is something that I like to do to others, but if I was the submissive, I don't think I would want my doming style personally. Like my submissive persona is completely opposite of what my dom persona is.
Oh yeah, I can see a difference. Like you guys, if you knew Mila on a personal level, she is not exactly as. It is not in a bad way at all. Trust me, it's really not. But she's not exactly as you see her saying, "Oh, let me stretch out someone's hole."
You're right, you're right. I'm more mild in real life. I'm perfect,
Yeah,
you're
she's
perfect.
perfect.
Our next question is, what do people assume you're into because you're a mommy dom, but actually not? And then we can change that for you because you're not really a mommy dom. I mean, I guess people have called you mommy and stuff before, and you've kind of done some mommy stuff. So if you want to do maybe the mistress answer, you
Hmm.
can. Um, do you want to answer first? Do you want me to go? Okay, so
You can go first.
my pretty much my not safe for work persona is the persona of a mommy dom. Now, I enjoy being a mommy dom caretaker. I don't enjoy being a mommy dom little if that makes sense. Like I like to be a mommy dom, but I don't like to engage in like age play or the little boy, little girl type of stuff. Um, there's hints and parts of it that I enjoy, but a lot of people assume that I'm into diapers or some like in age play, like I've had people try to, you know, comment that they're 3 years old, and I don't like that. That's personally something that people think that I'm into, but I am not into.
Yeah, I feel like with me, like people seeing me as like the mistress, they'll think I'm into like whole
Mhm.
bondage, leather, and all that really crazy stuff. Like I don't mind like to like tie someone up or something, but I'm not into like let me burn you with a
Yeah,
candle or
you're
something
more
like that.
you don't like to take the pain and the bondage to the all the way to the extreme level. So yeah, those are all of our
Exactly.
cues today, unless you have any, Lola.
Not right now. Maybe for our next one I
Ooh,
will.
so to recap again, today's episode we talked about fetish, baiting and fetish mining, and um, it's gonna be you're gonna get a strange feeling most of the time. They're gonna ask you weird stuff. They're gonna try to get you to do weird actions. They're gonna ask for your help with something completely strange and seems like, how does this thing exist? How do they need help with this? You know,
Mm,
and it happens
exactly.
so in minuscule ways, and it also happens on a larger scale. Like the we had discussed in this episode that the dropping the pencil or dropping something and you bend over to pick it up. That is such a minuscule part of fetish baiting, but it is the I would say the ground basis of it.
Yeah, and of course, again, like, don't ever go against your gut. Like, please trust it. If you feel so weird about the situation, get yourself out of it, get some help, or, you know,
Yeah, get yourself
basically
out,
just get
block,
yourself out of it.
ignore, or speak up. Tell them if you feel comfortable enough to speak up, be like, "Why are you asking me this? Like, why are you making me do this?" Just because if somebody has negative intentions, most of the time, if you call them out and you say, "Why are you making me do this?" They're going to be like, you know, because they already knew they didn't think that you would ask them. You know, they're not planning for that, but.
Yeah, and don't
Mhm.
ever feel like you're forced to take part of it just because you think that, oh, they're going to be upset
Yeah,
with you.
if
Like,
you
don't do
matter
it.
too, and if you're upset with what they're asking you to do or you're uncomfortable, you matter. So don't forget that.
Yes, just know that
You're
you're
precious and
precious and
loved.
loved.
um, so yeah, I think that's all we got for today. Thanks everyone. If you are returning, thank you for coming back. Here's a kiss. Mwah. Find us on Twitter at Love with Lola and at Mama Meela. Again, we do question and answers. I post my Curious Cat, so you guys can send me questions there. We love to answer them. You can listen to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube at Domception.
Yeah, and if you guys want to, support the podcast so
Mm-hmm.
we can keep making awesome episodes, you can find our Patreon by searching Domception, or in the description box under any of our YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we'll always tweet the links out. And a nice thing about our Patreon is you'll get exclusive access to our blooper reels, and we are honestly hilarious.
True,
Not to
we
toot
are
our
so
own
funny,
horn.
and we've already got some stuff that's already up, and we're going to be putting more stuff up there soon. So you will be able to see the bloopers, and you get your name at the end of our YouTube episodes.
Yes, in a shout out. And honestly, I mean, if Mila's up to this, who knows? Maybe we can up our Patreon and release exclusive
Oh, that would
content
be
you'll never see on
fun.
Twitter.
What? Let me think of exclusive content. It's photos of my cat Bobby.
It's my
Lola's feet pics and
feet
my
pics
cat
again,
pics. We hope to see you there. Bye.
Bye.